For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining the mind. If you feel it, our opinions is great. When everything we moving now with the state, turn us on. If the feeling is right, every opinion now comes from the heart. No time we move with a part. We on the radio.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, your mother's favorite podcaster, aka the Microphone Messiah. I am joined by Brandon Tanguma and Marlee of the High Wrestling Podcast. What's up, guys?
What do you do?
Yes, we were all in the same vicinity in person on Saturday. That's never happened before, I believe.
That's so wild.
Nope, finally got to meet Marlee in person for the first time after however long she's been doing this podcast. So,
I know,
great
right?
day.
We finished our story.
Yes.
It's like the mega powers finally shaking hands.
Yes. Oh my God. It's like when
The
Cody,
real big three.
It's like when Cody helped end racism and he was on the bus with Rosa Parks. Bruh, there is a new Cody Luther King meme around. Somebody redid his theme song. Big pop out of me. Big pop out of Marlee. Big pop out of a lot of us. Oh man, shout out to Cody Raheem Rhodes. Real talk. He was on the Cheap Heat podcast, and Brandon, I sent you the video of him acknowledging these memes, and he's happy to feel included.
Yeah, I mean, there was some other clips I saw from that podcast, but it's been a running bit for a long time, and he kind of said the quiet part out loud, that we do all these dumb things on the internet, and the wrestlers might not acknowledge it or might not talk about it, but they see everything.
I know the boys are watching. The boys are always watching. Yes. Oh man. Speaking of Cody, he was helped draft. He was a part of the WWE Draft that happened on SmackDown. Drafted Carmelo Hayes, and we'll talk about all that stuff. But the draft, it's happened. People have moved shows somewhat. Mainly, people have stayed on the same shows. I mean, let's get the draft portion out the way now. Let's look at the draft here, and Brandon, let's look at the people who have actually moved shows. I can't even hear you.
Well, I'm getting the muting out of the way earlier, right, Phillip? It's going to be quite a short list because a lot of the movement did not really happen, which we'll talk about that, I guess, later. But you said it, Carmelo Hayes, technically the first person to switch from NXT to SmackDown with the third overall pick. There you go. And then we got Braun Breaker moving from SmackDown to Raw. Kind of a call-up. He never really got like a full-fledged thing on SmackDown, so I guess he's really going to hit the ground running on Raw. Nia Jax goes to SmackDown. Called that. Let's see. Sheamus going from SmackDown to Raw. Kiana James getting the call-up. And Andrade moving from Raw to SmackDown. That was from night one. And there was some supplemental picks, but do we really need to talk about that? Baron Corbin also got the call-up, but he is not joining his War Dog buddy. He's going to SmackDown.
All right, and what else? So night two.
So I'm just gonna sit here and just talking to the Abyss and talk about like the three people who move shows.
Yes.
Damage Control. So the women's division has kind of been the most shaken up in this draft. They go from SmackDown to Raw. LWO go from SmackDown to Raw.
And
Shinsuke goes from Raw to SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov gets the call up to Raw. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. So shout out Adam Pearce. I know he's loving that. They go from Raw to SmackDown. Lyra Valkyria gets a call up to Raw. Candice LeRae and Indy go to SmackDown. The Final Testament, all those guys come over to Raw. DIY go to SmackDown. So keeping Candice and Johnny together. Love to see that. And then with the final pick, Mrs. Irrelevant, I guess, Blair Davenport getting the call up to SmackDown.
All right, SmackDown's getting really shaken up here. I like that. LWO, yeah, they get drafted over to Raw. Carlito was added with them, which was interesting given what we know now. Yeah. I guess we can talk about that. Yeah, Carlito attacked Dragon Lee. He was the one that attacked him to try to get a spot at WrestleMania. And so I guess that story's just going to finish playing out on Monday nights.
Yeah.
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 Like I mean, a lot of the mix up was in that middle card, and then even the women's division I think got the most shaken up, which is probably a good thing, especially with like what I said last week. Nia Jax going over to SmackDown makes a ton of sense. She can especially with Bayley and Becky both being baby faces, you can just swap the heels on both sides, and they get fresh new matchups. And hope well, I don't know. Do you think they try to phase the draft out now with the whole Netflix USA thing, or
What, you're
was
the
this
superstar
just?
shakeup again?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be. I wish they just did this like a quote unquote superstar shakeup or do like a trade deadline or something instead of doing this whole, dog and pony show of the draft and then no real big names of note get traded or switch brands, which legitimately would happen if this was a real draft because you would want to protect your biggest stars. But when
I
you
mean,
we sit
well,
here for we sit here for two shows and like 70% of the picks are just the people staying on the same show, it just kind of gets repetitive and boring.
so I mean, let's look at this. I mean, champions were exempt from the draft. Roman Reigns took himself out of the draft because he didn't know when he was going to be back. Um, but then Seth Rollins was drafted. Rhea Ripley, she wasn't even in it because we don't know what's up with her. Some interesting things are going on here. Uh, I guess you protect your biggest stars, which would be the champions, by them not even being chosen for a draft. I figure maybe next. I don't know. Maybe next year have like maybe the two heavyweight champions can't be drafted, but everybody else can. Or I don't know, something to kind of change it up a little bit. I
I
wouldn't
think
mind.
this comes down to just maybe Triple H or like maybe a lot of people in WWE like being like super duper sports people because drafts can get very monotonous and it gets very kind of in the weeds. Like you can do a draft of just NXT people because technically they're rookies and they would get drafted to the pros, quote unquote. Or you can do like an expansion draft where there are 10 people that each or five people that you can protect and then everybody else gets thrown in the pool and you can go down that route. NXT, like they were doing this whole thing about how NXT is going to be a part of the draft. They did not get any picks. Like they didn't even get like their own little special draft on NXT on Tuesday. So what was the whole point of putting the yellow in the branding if NXT wasn't a part of it?
They were a part of it because their talent got picked.
That's
That's
happened. That
There's
that
like
always happens.
there's like five or six, like 5 or 6 from NXT, which isn't much.
Yeah. I mean I mean, honest to God, I like the days of the draft where it would just be like a random generator, then somebody, oh, they're going to Raw. I mean, we could always just do that. We could always go back to that.
That was the way to do it.
It was. It wasn't.
That,
It
that
wasn't. It wasn't complicated at all. Just oh my
I
god.
think I honestly think they were trying to like play off the NFL draft because the NFL draft was the same day, and it's like it does not hit the same when it's WWE.
You're right. We need to have people sitting at their homes with their families, and they get drafted and they wear a Raw hat.
You're telling me you don't like the entire NXT roster, heels and babyfaces, all sitting together in solidarity and then cheer and clap when their name gets called, like good little students?
6 people getting called, yeah.
Well, I mean, I look at it if I look at it like that,
Because wait, what
somebody.
does Blair? Not to interrupt, but what does Blair Davenport even do? What has she done?
And that's the other thing is like all these NXT call-ups, a lot of them outside of Elia have been like not all that impressive, I think, on the NXT roster. Like, yeah, um, Lyra Valkyria got a run with the NXT title. She got a little bit of rub from Becky, but like personality wise, nothing really stands out. She's not like a Tiffany Stratton or, you know, some other women that they've called up recently that have worked out for them. A lot of these people outside of Ely, I would say, don't have an immediate impact. Even Ely, I think it's more of like a mid card guy at first. So I
Well,
don't, yeah.
Blair Davenport, to answer your question, I mean, she had really good work on NXT UK. I thought more was gonna come of her in NXT, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with her on. She's on SmackDown. Yeah. I don't know, man. But with people leaving NXT, that brings more opportunities for the next class. You know, the other people that are down there. I mean, we'll talk about spring breaking, but you saw like a lot of those new girls that are going to be vying for that NXT Women's North American title. You know, these create new opportunities. So yeah, sitting together, clapping. Oh, congratulations, you're gone. Now I get to take your spot and make a bigger impact here than you ever did. Yeah, that's why they're all sitting together, Brandon.
So, what's his name? Pillman's kid, who like kind of just hates everyone, is just so happy for Ilya Dragunov to
Well, yeah, he's
get
happy
drafted.
he's gone, so we can take his spot. Duh. Simple.
Listen, it's only his third day out here. He just got here.
It's simple. Once somebody leaves, all right, cool. I'm gonna take your spot, and I'm gonna hopefully be a bigger star with it than you were. You know, it's just that simple, man.
I will say Dijak played it perfectly. He also got drafted in the supplemental pick. He's going to Raw, and he just kind of tweeted, "It was like I'm going Raw." He didn't go over the top. He wasn't celebrating, which I think is probably how a lot of wrestlers should probably play it off. Just be like, "Cool, I'm ready for the opportunity." But no, we got like,
I mean, Dijak's character doesn't come across as, "Oh my God, I'm going to Monday Night Raw." You know what I'm saying? Like,
breaking news. Well, not so breaking news. Our boy Odyssey Jones remains on Raw, so maybe he'll finally be on Raw after a year of inactivity.
maybe he'll show up. Cody Rhodes defeated Carmelo Hayes. Good match. They went for the springboard something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I
was
if
kind
it
of
had
confused
hit,
on that.
if it had hit, that would have looked dope as hell. If it had connected, I know what they were trying to go for. It would have looked nice, but nonetheless, Cody gets to win over Carmelo. Competitive match. Thoughts, Marley?
I thought it made him look strong because he was probably out of like between Ilya and Carmelo, those are probably the strongest two draft picks. And
Yeah,
he's held his own on SmackDown before because he was in the United States tournament. So I feel like SmackDown has their top rookie with Carmelo and same with Ilya on Raw. But Melo definitely he showed out on SmackDown before, so it didn't really surprise me. But that springboard something. It was there. Did something.
yes. I mean, to go out there and hold your own with the WWE champion, kudos to Carmelo Hayes. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
On his first night.
First official night, yes.
Yeah, the match was fine. I know there's probably some people that are like, "Oh my God, Carmelo Hayes is buried because he lost to Cody." But I mean, I don't think they have any real plans for him in the main event scene right now. He just kind of build up his character. He can do something. On NXT he's a heel, but I think he can also work his babyface, possibly go up against Logan Paul. I mean, him and Logan Paul at a SummerSlam, kind of a weird dynamic because Paul, hometown kid in Cleveland, who knows what their reaction will be there. But I'm a fan of Carmelo. I think he's super talented. I just don't know if he has like quote unquote it to be like a top level guy, but not everyone needs to be a top level guy. And it,
When I
introduces some new blood to SmackDown.
when I watched him on the Indies when he was Christian Casanova, I said, "This kid has something. He's gonna be it. He's gonna be something special." And here we are. He's gonna be something special. It's confirmed, and that's why he was in there with Cody Rhodes. It's confirmed. You know. Plus, Cody's got to look out for the brothers, right? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Randy Orton comes out there and helps Kevin Owens. Solo Sikoa asks why the Bloodline wasn't drafted. Paul Heyman tells him, Roman took himself out of the draft. The Bloodline's going after KO. Orton comes out there to help. So at Backlash, we're getting RKO versus the Bloodline in France.
Yeah, a little interesting that it's kind of like a higher level team, kind of like as Solo and Tama Tonga's first official match together, you know. So kind of wonders what the finish will be like. Maybe there's a certain someone shows up for the first time to join the Bloodline. Who knows? But yeah, it's intriguing, I guess.
Spoil it. I haven't got my flight information yet.
Sorry.
Oh wow. See, dude has one squash match. He's already flying to France.
I know you got your passport. I didn't know that.
Chill. Hey, don't say that. I'll gladly shut the fuck up. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, it is. I mean, put him over strong. I mean, beat a veteran like Randy, and then a well established guy like KO makes him look good.
Yeah, That's a good stage for your first like main roster match. Because I wouldn't say it's like his first official match because he had like a tag team match on the international tour. I think it was today, but in that time zone. But
Really?
debut on Backlash France. That's good for Tom. Good on him.
Yeah, that is huge. Carlito, like we said, attack Dragon Lee. We move on from that. Outside the ring, Vince McMahon has sold the last of his shares of TKO, so he doesn't even have any voting power. Yes. What you call it? I think like his percentage now is like I think 5% is like the amount of percent you need to have like any kind of say so, and his is like a few points below that, like 4 point something. So this is all very interesting.
Vince McMahon finally, after all these years, and the he's out, but then he's back. I mean, he's finally gone. It seems, and you know, we've talked about it for the last like 2 months or 2 years, and it's just sort of story's not over yet, but he's technically officially gone from the company now.
Does he have a story to finish too?
I hope not.
I mean,
I feel like
there's a story that includes him. I just don't know if it's his story to finish.
does Durag Vince come back and have a run?
I don't think I did see a video on the internet today, Vince walking into probably a restaurant or something. He was walking around with a cane and everyone's like, "Oh my God, look how fragile he is." Like the dude's 78.
Didn't he just
And
have a surgery too, right?
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when people get old and like something happens to them or like kind of morbid, like, once your significant other dies, then your health kind of gradually declines because you don't have anything quote unquote to live for. And Vince isn't in WWE anymore, so yeah, yeah, not gonna go too deep into it, but you kind of catch my drift.
Nick Khan's been selling some of his shares also. The rumor, you know how rumors are, that the company is going to go back to private.
Well, I mean, I don't know how that works because now they're a conglomerate. It's not just WWE anymore. It'd be TKO.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I was like, I don't know how that would work, but nonetheless.
I mean, my understanding is the Nick Khan thing is much more of a business play than like a whole, personal thing and the lawsuit and everything where he may be named. I think that's like the Vince thing is on its own what it seems like on the surface. He's gone. He's not coming back. Nick Khan, on the other hand, that one seems more of like some sort of business play or whatever, because he's always doing something.
Yes, we shall see with Nicholas Khan. Drew McIntyre resigns with WWE. A video goes out of the final boss, awarding Drew some tequila to congratulate him on staying with the company. I believe Drew was on the Pat McAfee show talking about it. So yeah, I mean, where was Drew gonna go? Come on,
Let's be real. He's too with the way his character is right now and his character work. It would be a loss to WWE if he didn't resign. Because I think this is his best work. Because I feel like his momentum got killed with the pandemic when he won the Royal Rumble in the pandemic year and he didn't get to have his main event in front of a crowd. So I feel like this is his redemption. I feel like he's playing into this character really well compared to when I first saw him 10 years ago. Those X's on his trunks.
Oh, and he was the chosen one?
When he was the chosen one.
Who chose him? Say his name. Great. Yeah, plus the Punk thing. We'll talk about that on Raw. Ronda Rousey, her comments about the company just continue to go. And Jimmy Smith, former Raw commentator, he's spoken out and said she was a terrible person backstage, and they all hated her. I'm like, wow, this is all just
water is wet.
Yes, it is. Brandon.
I mean, Ronda Rousey, even back in her UFC days, you could tell she was a different character. And when you're winning and you're very successful, that's people take it a certain way. And then when you're not winning and you're not, the biggest woman star, one of the biggest overall stars in sports, people kind of look at you sideways. And I mean, this kind of has been bubbling up for quite ever since she lost back to Holly Holm all those years ago, which I feel so old now because that was like what 7 years ago at this point. But
2015.
Oh,
No, bro, that was like 2015.
oh god, oh,
wow.
getting so old. But yeah, I mean, she's always been a weird character, and you know, it's not surprising that a lot of people are not a fan of her personally.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, Well, maybe she has to get kicked in the head again to kind of knock her marbles into place. Darby Allin got hit by a bus. Yeah, T's and P's. Hope he's all right.
The man should have just climbed Everest with a broken foot. He would have been much safer.
Yeah, this shit. I have nothing else to say about Darby Allin. I don't know what's wrong with that man.
He's like Wile E. Coyote in real life.
Yeah. Who Killed WCW is airing on June 4th on Vice. It's executive produced by The Final Boss. So that should be fun to watch and review.
Yeah, the death of WCW is definitely something that has not been covered before.
Wow.
Maybe they do a Montreal Screwjob one after that.
Maybe they do why Tony Khan is the way he is. Speaking of Tony Khan, let's talk about the NFL draft.
We know why he is the way he is. He plays with that booger sugar.
Let's talk about the NFL draft. I mean, what were the Atlanta Falcons doing? Like they had prime real estate and they draft Michael Penix when they have Kirk Cousins. Like, yes, he might be old and coming off an Achilles injury, but you have so many holes to fix. Why do you go and take a quarterback there? Also, I wish the Raiders were able to get Michael Penix. That's neither here nor there.
The Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah. But anyways, we got Brock Bowers. He fell to us at 13. Kind of wanted, to go.
Anyway, this is a wrestling podcast. Tony Khan was on the NFL draft wearing a neck brace. Yeah. This happened.
Well, it was kind of a tale of 2 days. Day one, he gets showcased on NFL Network with the neck brace, and it's kind of like, haha, look at that, he's selling the bit, and also people just kind of laughing at him. They're people enjoying for what it is. But then night two, or day two, day three, whatever it was, he goes on NFL Network to do a kind of softball interview with the network where it's like, oh, haha, we having fun, talk about football and talk about AEW. And then Tony Khan just like, oh yeah, AEW, we're the Pepsi of pro wrestling. We're the underdogs. And WWE is the Harvey Weinstein. And you can see the shock on the guys, the host face, like, dude, brother, what are we doing here? We're just here to have fun. You're out here dropping Harvey Weinstein's name because they probably don't know why he said Harvey Weinstein because they're probably not in the loop on Vince McMahon. And yeah, it's a whole can of worms on like a whole bunch of different levels because
why does every company try to do this? Be your own thing. Leave them alone. Like, what? Why?
It's so nice when, people choose silence. And I feel like that's something Tony Khan should do from time to time. But,
like, I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was a tone deaf comment in so many different ways, from Pepsi being the official soda of the NFL to WWE being with NFL people all the time to, yeah, it was just not a good look at all. And also, like, they did the whole Edge, rah, everyone love everyone speech a couple weeks ago, and now, Tony Khan's out here doing this stuff.
Are they the Pepsi? Weird. Are they the Pepsi of pro wrestling? Because they got rid of the Pepsi Man.
Yeah, because it started out as a good alternative to WWE until where did the decline start? That's
Cody left. That's
probably where it started. Because
yeah,
are they the RC Cola now?
Bro, I would say so.
I don't even want to call them that generic like Safeway brand of cola because that's disrespectful to Safeway.
I mean, AEW is very much there.
But RC Cola, that's a reference for your ass. Oh man,
I don't know if I've ever had RC Cola. I just always see it as like a meme.
It's got out the vending machine in front of a Walgreens.
It's very sweet.
I mean, usually if I see something, if they have an RC Cola, I'm probably gonna go with like a Sprite or whatever, like a root beer or something.
But you're a Dr. Pepper guy.
I am a Dr. Pepper guy, even though I got a Diet Coke right here.
What's up with the do you like the strawberry and cream Dr. Pepper? Are you a fan?
I do, but I gotta watch my weight. I always go with the zero sugar, but strawberries and cream Dr Pepper, I mess with it.
Marley, are you a fan of the Dr Pepper?
I, I no.
Wow.
Blasphemy.
No,
Well, mainly because I've like weaned off soda. That's mainly why. So it's not even
okay.
just a Dr. Pepper thing. It's like I don't drink as much soda as I used to.
When you were drinking soda, was Dr Pepper? Was it a thing that you had?
The original Dr. Pepper, yeah. No, I've never had the strawberries and cream one.
Okay. Yeah, like Dr Pepper. It's like like you go to the 7-Eleven, like all right, I could have a Dr Pepper, or if you're at like a function or whatever. Yeah, okay, it's there. I
Yeah.
could, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
that's disrespectful to Dr Pepper. It's people who
No,
live and die by Dr Pepper.
well, she didn't say it was terrible. She didn't say I don't.
Yeah, I just weaned myself off of
I was
soda
talking
and I
about
haven't had
Phillips.
a
I was talking about Phillips'
oh,
perception of it.
Oh no, I know. Don't get me wrong, brother. There are days where like I'll choose Dr Pepper over everything else. Don't.
Okay. Just want to make sure we are a Dr Pepper podcast. If you want to sponsor us, DP, shout out. Let us
he
know.
is
Marley, what was the
certified
soda?
doctor.
Marley, what was the soda of choice for you?
Soda of choice was Sprite, really.
Yes.
Sprite or Pepsi. It was always one of those two.
Okay. I like it. Get you a McDonald's Sprite, carve up the insides real quick,
Clear the sinuses.
clear the sinuses. Any phlegm or congestion you got, it's gone. Cuts through it like diamonds. Hell, it McDonald's Sprite probably could carve through diamonds. I'd believe it. Absolutely. All right, inside the ring, Ricochet is the inaugural WWE Speed Champion. I believe he defeated Johnny Gargano in about like 3 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but when you're in the ring, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Congrats to him. And NXT Spring Breaking, NXT Underground match. Lola Vice, Natalia. I watched it. It was what it was. Trick Williams is out there with Lash Legend. Ava Rain announces that there will be a women's ladder match to determine the inaugural NXT Women's North American Champion. Jada Parker, that's my pick. She's gonna win it all. Her or Sol Ruka, one of the two.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sol Ruka. I didn't watch week 2, but I watched week 1. So I think Sol Ruka's killing it.
She is. I mean, the finisher is great. She seems to be decent in the ring. She's doing big things. Brandon, what are your thoughts on all these things?
I mean, yeah. Shout out the all-knowing NXT general manager Ava. She just knows exactly what she's doing. She's the greatest. And yeah, so Rika, I've seen some clips online, mainly just of her finisher, which, I think it's a little bit too convoluted, but then I'll come back and say, then it looks just like the Oscutter and all those other things. But
Ooh, the what?
Sol Ruka's little flippy-do finisher that the person has to be in the exact, right position for it to happen.
Yeah, what about it? It looks
I feel like it's a little bit,
you said it looked like what?
Well, like if you try to get that into like wrestling, like an Oscutter or like some other moves that
The hell is an
people,
Oscutter?
Will Ospreay's cutter, where he jumps off the
Come on,
rope.
Cutter, don't do that. Don't do that here.
I was gonna say
Cody Cutter. Is that better, Philip?
Well, Cody doesn't do the flip, so
I was gonna say if not Sol Ruka, Carmen Petrovic. I would
okay.
go with her.
Okay. I see. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the with that match. McIntyre and Punk. Brandon, talk about it.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre unhappy with his draft position, probably rightfully so. I mean, he went in the third round, I think. Yeah, third round, 11th pick overall, which a little bit of a steal, especially with him signing his contract. But he goes out to complain. CM Punk surprisingly shows up, but he was up in the suite, and he said bitch. So that means the PG era is so done. We're so back, everyone. Attitude Era is here to stay. And Drew goes up to attack Punk. Punk scurries away. He goes down to the ring. He cuts a less than 5-minute promo because that's as long as Drew McIntyre hold his title for. And yeah, so they,
That's crazy, bro. That's wild.
it did take Drew McIntyre like 15 minutes to get to that suite when it probably should take him like no less than 5.
He just has trouble, man.
You know,
Television magic.
It's okay, man.
new arena. You don't know the landscape, especially like with those suites, because sometimes it's like a level below a level, and it can be confusing. I get it.
It's okay, man. It's 5 minutes. That's something. I feel like my whole segment on Saturday was longer than his title reign.
You can do a lot of damage in less than 5 minutes.
Right? You can do a lot of damage in one. Hey, look, this Drew McIntyre CM Punk thing. I mean, I'm here for it all, man. I love it. The callbacks when Punk, does his promos, best in the ring, on the mic, even a commentary. Love it all.
Drew also did acknowledge his elbow injury, which I don't think really happened at WrestleMania, but he's blaming it on CM Punk.
I don't know. The way he hit that table, it could have.
Could have tweaked it a bit.
But I'm here for all this. Braun Strowman returns. Logan Paul is out there with Jey Uso.
Hold on, we need to do the test, everyone. Phillip, do you know who Patrick Mahomes is? Before Monday.
Yes, 3-time Super Bowl champ.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Super Bowl.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I watched him spank the Niners.
After you didn't know who Shohei Ohtani is, now we have to do the sports check, the Phillip check.
Wow, even I know who Patrick Mahomes is.
Bro,
I don't even watch football.
Playing. I don't watch football either. Patrick Mahomes, that boy got a dynasty. Still don't I still got beef with Kansas City because of Mac Dre, but nonetheless.
Yeah, that part.
Hello. But yeah, the Super Bowl rings. JD McDonough, uglier than he usually is now.
He's really a Funko Pop now.
Yeah, the boy Logan Paul tried to out-yeet Jey Uso. Logan Paul, the longest reigning champ in WWE currently. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat for your ass. Yeah. I wouldn't mind a Logan Paul Jey Uso match, I'm just saying.
Well, they're on different brands now, so can't do that.
Man, did Logan Paul get drafted?
He's a champion, so he got protected. So he's on SmackDown.
How many Jey Uso to get traded to SmackDown real quick?
Not that long before SummerSlam. That should happen at SummerSlam.
Right. But yeah,
he's not going to lose in his hometown though. So,
wrestling, you lose in your hometown. It's one of the.
It's Logan Paul.
No, it is one of the unwritten. The only people who get to win in their hometown are CM Punk because it's Chicago and they will riot.
It's Logan Paul.
It is an unwritten rule. You lose on your birthday, you lose in your hometown. Or if you're Canadian, you just lose anywhere in Canada.
Exactly.
Except Canadian Stampede. That's the one time. I
don't know. I feel Logan Paul, he's got the prime drinks. He might retain. I
wonder who his opponent's going to be.
Ass and Mello.
Nah. I don't know. We could see that. We'll see.
They've been teasing the LA Knight thing forever. I don't know if they get it all the way to SummerSlam, but that's another one.
Yeah. Liv Morgan defeated Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton was at ringside. Naomi comes out there, squabbles with Tiffany. And then Liv Morgan gets a big win over Nia Jax. Wow.
Yeah, they do the thing where someone does the job before they leave the territory, even though the territory is within the territory. So
no, it's not. USA and Fox are two completely different.
I get it, but it's kind of a callback from like the Vince era to where they do that stuff all the time, where someone's getting drafted and they would lose on Raw or vice versa, and it's like, well, whatever. But Liv getting a win here, it's fine. I don't think they're going to Becky anytime soon, but they're dropping much more obvious hints of Dominic and Liv doing something.
Bro, they were seen coming out of the same room. Hey, there's about to be some novella storytelling in this.
Wait, did you guys see Rhea's Twitter after that? She was retweeting like a bunch of heartbroken quotes and stuff. I was like, dang.
Bro, he's taking after his dad, Eddie. Eddie cheated on his mamacita, China. I'm telling y'all. You know what we need? You think they'll have a ladder match for his custody? I heard Sam Roberts say this on his podcast. You think Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have a ladder match for two things? the Women's World Championship, and taped to it is the custody of Dominic Mysterio.
They might have to do it for the culture because there are people who might not know that reference. They might have to do
Bro,
it. Might have to circle back to
big
that.
pop out of me if we do that. Rhea wins. She gets her title back. She gets custody of Dom, and then she lays him out. Oh, I'm here for it all, bro.
That's like up there. People who don't know about that's up there with people who haven't seen White Chicks. We need to rectify both those things.
Bro, I feel like I had a conversation with somebody and they hadn't seen it. This is recent. I can't remember who it is. I was like, what?
It was Marks. It was probably Marks.
Marks.
Is he still in the BCU?
What?
The Bullock Ass universe?
No, he's a jabroni.
Okay.
Big jabroni.
Leading the junior varsity James Logan baseball team to glory.
Yeah, I don't. He shouldn't be allowed around children. Anyway, yeah. Chad Gable attacks Sami Zayn while he's defending the Intercontinental Championship against Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed attacks Sami Zayn, then attacks Gable. Can we get a triple threat match on France real quick? Can we do that? I'm down.
I think you got to build up Gable a little bit. He just lost to Sami, so you need to tell the story of him, getting his groove back. But I did like the intensity. Like I said, intelligence. Maybe. Kurt Angle said he's willing to manage Gable as a heel. I don't know how well that would go over, but it's definitely an intriguing idea.
The most famous man in the world just came back for a great heel run. I think Kurt Angle can do it.
Maybe.
Friend of the show, Kurt Angle, by the way.
Exactly.
AEW Christian versus Swerve at Double or Nothing. Is it wrong? I want Christian to win. Is that wrong of me?
No,
because I've loved this whole character. Like, haha, your father's dead. Like, it's I don't know. It's been great.
Haven't seen him since he lost the title to Copeland a couple weeks or months ago at this point. So the
patriarch.
But I think it's a fine first feud. Very similar to like what we're seeing at Backlash right now. First title defense. You don't expect him to lose, but I think they're going to tell a decent story.
Look, kind of wish Cody was still in AEW because that feud right there would have been
the history, the layers.
What?
And also, Cody's dad's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Even another layer.
Can we get Christian back on AEW, or can we get him back to WWE, please? Raw on Netflix. He can just say whatever he wants. I'm here for it.
My wrestler saying the F word on Netflix is blasphemy.
I'm kind of here for all of it.
Anyways, I thought they did a good callback to where Christian is attacking Swerve. Well, he's getting the title match regardless, but he doesn't like Swerve because of what he did to Nick Wayne. I almost said Nick Gage. Nick Wayne all those months ago, and then also dating back to the All In match.
Whoa! Continuity in AEW.
I know, and also the All In tag match against Sting and Darby. Swerve was the one who lost that match. Christian still hasn't gotten over that. So Swerve is still paying some bills from when he was a heel.
All right. People cashing in on these receipts. I like it. The Cope Oakland, he defeats
They advertised, it could be any person from the House of Black. Is it going to be, Brody King? He said, he's beaten Copeland twice already. Is it going to be Aleister Black, Malachi Black, because they teased it so much during the tag match of Dynasty.
Buddy Matthews?
And then, no, you're just going to get Buddy Matthews, and you're going to wrestle him for like 20 plus minutes, and everyone in that building knows Copeland's going to win, so it's like kind of dead silent, except for kind of some of the high spots. But
where were they at?
They were in Winnipeg. They were in Canada, so a Canadian wins in Canada. Who would have thought? Novel.
2.
Yes.
Two Canadians winning
in
Canada.
It's not how you do business.
Exactly. All the Canadians should be losing. They should be holding events in Canada regardless.
Okay, I didn't say that. All right.
Sorry.
Jericho defeats Shibata to retain the FTW title.
Yeah, there was just like a lot of. It was this show in general is just built around kind of the bookend match or bookend promos. So there's a lot of wrestling on here. But they had Shibata and Jericho go relatively long. They pointed out that it was Shibata's first ever no DQ match, which I thought was kind of interesting. And they go for a little bit. Jericho throws a puck at Shibata's face, and he starts bleeding from the mouth, which looked kind of gnarly. But Big Bill interferes, puts Shibata through a table, and the Learning Tree continues to win. And Taz selling the hell out of his disgruntlement with Chris Jericho tarnishing the FTW title.
The Learning Tree. Love it. I love it. See, when and you do the AEW script. You didn't put this on when it debuted. Why didn't you do that?
What?
Talked about all this other jabroni nonsense. This was the main thing we should have been talking about. The Learning Tree. I love it.
Well, last week they had the Learning Tree segment, and Phillip just, he could have went over because he stole my spotlight of going down Dynamite.
But it wasn't even on the script.
Oh, so he Ron Burgundied. Okay, got it. If it ain't on the script, he ain't gonna read it. He reads what's on the teleprompter, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just disappointed. I really am. You need to be under my learning tree. Have you learned nothing in these past 7 years?
In one ear, out the other.
That's the best way to do it.
Wait, hold on, don't do that. No.
Every script says no profanity at the top. I still ignore that once an episode.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway.
Exactly. We go on radio, damn it. We're on late night.
The Elite do God's work and attack Kenny Omega. Yeah.
Isn't he still sick? That's double homicide.
Is he really still sick?
I think so. I don't know if he was cleared to do all that.
Actually, you know what? I will say this. Kenny Omega, he defended Roman Reigns on his Twitch. So he's okay in my book for that. But Marlee, Kenny and I, we have a long standing. We got beef.
I've never really cared for Kenny Omega personally.
You see, thank you. Finally, somebody here that's not all gaga over this guy.
Jeez. He's all right. He hasn't disappointed me in ring, but it's not like I'm watching AEW for Kenny Omega. I'm not watching wrestling for Kenny Omega. I mean, he's there and he's good, but he's not my favorite.
You see, this is what I've been waiting for.
And you guys gonna have to make me defend a Canadian right now.
That's how I feel about Ospreay too. Ospreay's there. He's decent, but he's not my favorite.
Thank you.
I only choose silence because I'm a CM Punk defender. And
hey,
you know how they get treated out in these streets.
You and me both. We're both Punk defenders.
All right. Wearing the CM Punk hoodie to the next Oasis. Let's go.
Bro, I know a couple people that I already know a couple. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be a CM Punk defender. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one true article in a locker room full of counterfeit bucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Stop
me when I'm telling lies. Anyway, the Elite attack Kenny Omega. How was this?
I thought it was pretty good. Like Marlee said, we still don't know exactly what's going on with Kenny. Rumors were it's not as bad as it could have been. So he's going to avoid surgery. But once again, we don't know exactly what the extent of it was. But Kenny kind of teased possibly retiring, not retiring. He kind of said that he needs. So what Kenny said on the show is he needs the surgery if he doesn't want to have, if he doesn't want to die, basically. But he's not. He didn't say he got the surgery, so that was kind of confusing. But I thought he, cut a good heartfelt promo, something we haven't really seen from Kenny Omega ever. And then Okada comes out, so that's a kind of a big moment, Okada and Omega on a Dynamite, and then Jack Perry comes out. They attack him, extended beatdown, and this also they had Rampage after Dynamite, so a lot of this kind of bled into Rampage past the 7:00 hour. But there was just a big beatdown, just continuing to put heat on the Elite. FTR comes to make the save. They get thwarted. They stretcher Kenny off. The Young Bucks go to say hi. They dump him off the stretcher. So really kind of playing it up, and a lot of quite a bit of physicality. I kind of expected the attack, but I don't think I expected this brutal of an attack on Kenny, which I think is a positive that showcases he probably can be back for a blood and guts match or whatever kind of the big blow off they're looking for.
Hopefully they do the blood and guts. I think that would be very good. I do. Yes. Yeah. All right. We're gonna do the backlash predictions. We're gonna kind of go rapid fire. We've been going kind of long here. Damage Control versus Cargill and Belair for the women's tag titles. I'm going Cargill and Belair.
Cargill and Belair, because it's going to set up something that I have a theory about.
Yes. SummerSlam.
I agree.
match.
New champions. You can have them be on both shows because they're the one champions who can float and continue to keep Jade strong.
All right. Naomi, can she finish her story after leaving WWE and coming back? Can she win a championship? Can Bayley retain? Actually, condolences going out to Bayley. I saw that her grandmother passed away. So T's and P's going out to her and her family. Can Bayley retain, or is it going to be Tiffy time in France? I got Bayley retaining.
Bayley, because Tiff should win Money in the Bank too soon for her. Right
Yes,
now.
she was on Chris Van Vliet. She said she wants a bedazzled pink briefcase. I'm here for all that.
Yeah, I go with Bayley as well. I think just kind of the question is who takes the fall here. Do you have it be Tiffany, and then she kind of goes away and wins the title, or wins Money in the Bank, or did you just kind of have her beat Naomi and then Naomi does something else on the side and she can go and face heels?
I smell a Nia Jax interference with this one. Put a pin in that.
I'm down for Nia to be champ. I really am.
Nia might interfere with that ending.
Yes. Damian Priest defends the World Heavyweight Championship against main event Jey Uso. No, I don't want the Isle of Samoa to come after me for this.
Trust circle here.
It's a safe space.
Everyone, keep this quiet. Don't tell them.
Damian Priest. Yeah.
I mean, he just got his title. I don't think anybody's dropping titles. They just got them. WrestleMania was like 5 minutes ago. Practically.
Damian Priest retains. Logan Paul, I think, cut a little too close to home in that promo on Raw where he was like, yeah, I've been saying yeet since 2017, and those are like, that and oos are the only two words you say, which he's not wrong about that. Like I was pointing out, like yeet is not a new thing, and he just goes way too hard on that, and it's starting to wane on me. If not, it's already waned.
It doesn't matter.
Vine era.
The yeet merch is merching. It is selling.
It's just like Seth Rollins and people singing his song. Just because people do it doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Is that one Viner getting royalties? Whoever started the yeet?
Which guy was that?
That was like, it was a Vine. They were like in a hallway, and it was like, this bitch empty. Yeet. And it was like years ago.
I know. I think we named one of the we named a podcast Yeet or something years ago. I remember, yeah. So it's been a thing for a while, but it's okay. What's old is
In
new.
classic WWE fashion, they bring something to the forefront years later.
Kids don't know.
But it wasn't when it was first came out. It wasn't as popping as it is now. I mean,
real people were saying yeet years ago, and
no,
now
I
no one says
remember,
it.
but like I don't.
Once again, now that it's in the wrestling world, it's all Phillip knows.
What do you mean? I said yeet back in the day. Stop. I was on Vine. Stop playing with me. Melvin Gregg, one of my favorite Viners. Hello. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking it back.
I went there. I went there for all y'all.
I'm more of a tout guy. I love tout.
All right,
Bring tout back.
Yeah.
You know, if TikTok is getting taken out because of the Chinese government, bring tout back.
All right, tout your ass. Anyway, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. I got the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and his MFT, baby. Yes. Anything to stay in the family because I'm scared.
I'm gonna have to go with Kevin and Randy on this one.
Oh,
I don't think they're gonna win, but I don't know. I feel like too soon for the Bloodline to win. I feel like we got to build. There's a story there that needs to be developed before they get that first win.
But the whole thing is like we don't like. There are consequences for losing, and we don't know when Roman's gonna come back.
Well, that's the point. Maybe they just need to lose until Roman comes back, so we get the big consequence payoff. or we need to lose until SummerSlam at least. I don't see them. I don't know. The Bloodline should not be successful until SummerSlam, just so there's a payoff.
Like I said, I wonder why they have such marquee names going up against the Bloodline in kind of their first match, because I feel like the Bloodline needs to like really stamp and a real aggressive beatdown type win, which it still could happen, or Randy and KO kind of fight back a little bit, and then possibly one Jacob Fatu makes his debut there, and they kind of evens the odds, and it's we get another person in a black hoodie that
When is that happening?
I don't know, but
you believe what you read on the internet? That's right.
I don't believe anything I read on the internet.
Then why are you saying?
I'm just bringing it up at what could happen because the internet tells me it could happen.
When a dirt sheet comes up on the timeline, the best thing to do is block and mute. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right? God, you people in these sheets. All right, it's the undisputed WWE title, Cody Raheem Rhodes versus Aloysius Jones Styles. I'm gonna go with my boy Cody Luther King for the culture.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cody. Well, AJ was out with the injury. I'm not gonna ask what has he done, but I just like the storyline continuity because AJ has fought Dusty before, and now he's gonna fight Cody. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, I'm going with Cody as well. I think they did a good job on SmackDown at the contract signing, kind of building it up, kind of making something out of nothing, because it was just AJ winning the number one contendership, and he also said he's not a heel anymore without saying he's not a heel, because he said, "Oh yeah, LA Knight got the best of me. My bad, guys, hand up." So maybe we see a more neutral or more babyface AJ Styles in this match. I don't know.
This is the interesting note. He is this is the third time AJ Styles has been the challenger for a new champion or new heavyweight champion following WrestleMania. He did it with Roman in 2016, did it with Seth for the Universal title in 2019, and now here we are doing it for Cody Luther King in France in the year of our Lord 2024.
Get ready to fly, I guess. Oh wait, wrong promotion.
I am. He hates that song.
That sucks for him because better than what he's got right now.
He said he heard it like for so long that he hated it, but I'm like, bro,
just like Randy Orton and Burning My Light.
Hey, Burning My Light was fire. I don't care what nobody say. Hey, you can say you weren't a fan?
No, I'm not a Burning My Light fan.
That was my ish. I was there like, yeah, I was feeling that. Man, I was
Legend Killer Randy just killing everyone.
Yeah. Honestly, nothing, this is personal, but nothing's gonna top V1 Matt Hardy Live for the Moment. That's probably the best entrance theme.
V1 Matt Hardy.
After Limp Bizkit rolling. Keep on rolling, baby.
That is a personal bias, wrestling aside. I agree. But nothing's topping Live for the Moment. Monster Magnet.
Not the Monster Magnet. What about the what was it, the one that was like, oh yeah, the something I can drive a tornado or something like that?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, that's the
one I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. That's the best one.
That was man, that thing. What about Jeff Hardy? The No More Words?
I mean, no more. They both slap, but I mean,
hand up.
Live for the moment. Live for the moment.
Don't care too much about no more words. Just because that's when I wasn't watching, so I don't have the same. I don't have the same connection like everybody else does.
Bruh. So
it's definitely nostalgic, but man,
when that thing starts to do, I'll be like, oh, I'd be ready to just start Jeff Hardying it up, man. I've been cutting up socks, putting them on for armbands. No.
When are we doing WWE themed karaoke now? That's the real question.
Oh man, don't do that. I'm ready. So you see the writing on the wall. I'm ready, man. Don't play with me.
I wish CM Punk never put Jack Perry in a chokehold, because I firmly believe if he stayed in AEW, we're going to hear this fire burns one time.
For the one time.
You know whose theme song that was before it was CM Punk's?
It was Randy's. Or was it Batista?
It was Randy for one night.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, CM Punk history.
Yep, there you go. See, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, The Bulletcast, YouTube channel, Bulletcast. Email us bulletcast2 @gmail.com. iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn. We're all on the way. We're all over the place. You know what I'm saying. Marlee, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to everybody later. As always, be safe and stay dangerous.
There's a feeling in the time and everything that we did. Listen to the senators connecting it, moving on everything that's pronouncing it. Everything we did in the time now with the testament. Here is the feeling when we live on the stage, and everything we do turning the page. Nobody doesn't like us. The feeling when we move, we are excited. Elite podcasting, I know you like it. Yeah, the Bulletcast, fearless. The Bulletcast, fearless. The Bulletcast, fearless. Elite podcasting, we are the Bulletcast now, fearless. The Bulletcast now, fearless. Elite podcasting, no we are elite podcasting, no we are.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.